It's a great day. It's the start of the season, and it's as highly anticipated of a season as I've ever had as a coach. Not just because of the rankings and everything, but just because I really love my team, and I really love how they compete. And so it's always fun when you really have confidence in the group that you're ready to go to battle and really show people what you've been working on. And I just really do enjoy the atmosphere of this team. I enjoy their competitive natures. They've been practicing so hard, and they're eager. And so as a coach, you know, I'm excited to just see how it all unfolds.
What is your goal for this season, and how do you plan to achieve it?
Well, I think that the biggest overall goal is we want to play deeper into March. And I think that 2 years ago we had a great run on the NIT, and we were playing on the last day, or the second to last day of the season, and that was fun. Last year we didn't play long enough in March. You know, we only played those 2 games, and you know, if we want to be considered one of the nation's elite programs, we need to make more of a statement there. So everything that we're doing in November and December and January and February is to try to set us up for a successful March, and we really need to focus on that. And that's why we've upped our schedule. And I think, you know, if we have the same, you know, amount of wins as we did last year, it's going to be a remarkable season because the schedule is twice as hard as it was last year.
We're number 7 right now. Do you think we have the potential to be number 1?
You know, I don't know. I'll find out pretty early, I think, on Tuesday when we're playing number 2 or number 3 in the country in Tennessee. That's why we're playing the game. I can't answer that right now because, you know, the ACC does bring you number 1 and number 2 ranked teams, and we've played against them in the past. And so I would like to think that we could do that, but I'll find out. I'll certainly find out in our first couple games here.
Coach, who do you think is going to be your toughest opponent this season?
Well, you know, early on, obviously, I think the toughest atmosphere will be Knoxville. There's no question. I think, you know, and as a coach, you want those games, and I think I have a team that wants those games. I don't have a team that's scared of the game, but absolutely, that's going to be a very tough environment. And opponent-wise, I mean, I think we got one every week. I just cannot believe our schedule. It is really difficult. Oh, there's a lot of travel, and I think that we'll face a ton of adversity early, whereas last year we didn't have a lot of adversity, and we got our confidence way high. Well, you know, it's going to be a little up and down probably, but I feel like that's what we need.
Looking also at your travel schedule, it says you will be heading to Alaska. Can you explain that,
Yeah.
what exactly you'll be doing there?
Yeah, well, we do have a player from Alaska on our team, Sylvia Bullock. She's wonderful. She's been a captain since she was a sophomore, and we just need to take her home. I mean, she decided to go to college at the furthest Division I institution from her front door, and I thought that was a heck of a leap of faith. And she chose a college that had won 9 games the year before. Everybody talks about Bay and Mo and you know why they came to Miami, but why in the heck did Sylvia Bullock come to Miami? You know why? And she did, and she's been just a rock solid leader. One of my favorite players I've ever coached, the most honest kid I've ever coached, and she deserves to be brought home. So there we go.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Coach. What are your expectations for the season?
I expect that you know the Miami name is out there now. I want the program to have national respect. It's the reason I came here. I really felt like it needed to have that we needed to emerge on a national scene. So that's the external kind of expectations, but other than that, I mean, I expect them to play very hard in practice today, period. And that's how we coach. I expect every offensive possession that we run it perfectly, and on defense, the other team doesn't score. And my expectations are never that grand. They're always pretty narrow-focused and minute, and that's kind of how we keep our sanity.
And I read that you're 2 games away from your 100th win. What does that mean to you, and what are you looking forward to about that?
I think that I might have done that already.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Last win.
Last win. Thank you.
Yep.
How important is student support for your games?
It's just like a fuel. It's like a fuel, and if you're running low on fuel, your car doesn't go as fast. And I honestly believe that our team plays that way. And there were games last year where we had a full tank with 4 minutes to go because at FSU, we had them at home and we were down, and the fuel, I mean, we just surged. And same thing, Georgia Tech at home last year. And I just want the students to know that, we don't want to run on a quarter tank. We want it full, and it really helps us. So I hope the students will come out and support us.
Go ahead. Okay, is that good?
Especially as a women's sport, what would you say to students to get them to come out and support the basketball team?
Well, I just think that you just fall in love with our team. I mean, I've coached a bunch of different styles and teams or whatever, but this particular team, I shouldn't have to beg. They are very, very fun to watch. They love each other. They love playing. They're high-fiving. They're diving on the floor. I mean, we were up 51-15 in the exhibition game, and they expected me to yell at them at halftime, and I did. And they expected that. And that's just awesome to watch, and I just hope people really catch on.
As far as Shanice Johnson, for the success that she has had, do you think that has added any pressure to her?
Of course.
How do you think she has responded to that?
Brilliantly. If you're really great, you want pressure. And the worst thing could be that you're a Division I major basketball player and there's no pressure on you because no one expects anything because you haven't proven anything. I think she's proven that she can handle it. I think she's proven that she made the right college choice, and it was risky. And the kid's a risk taker. I mean, she just is. And that's why she's not scared to take the last shot, and she's not scared when we're down 8 with 2 minutes to go. And that's her nature. So she's handled it brilliantly, and there's pressure on her. But I told her and Raquana that they had a heck of a lot more pressure on them when they were freshmen and sophomores. And it was they had to do well for us to win. They absolutely had to score 40 points combined even last year for us to beat a big-time opponent. And they don't have to this year. There's less pressure on them. But obviously, externally, I think there's just more eyes on them. But that's not pressure that we talk about. Just because people are watching, that shouldn't put any pressure on you. Pressure is, are you good enough? Are you great enough? Are you prepared? And we like it. We don't like when it turns into stress. And it usually turns into stress when you haven't done what you're supposed to do. But if you're working hard every day and you're prepared, just like a final exam, if you're prepared for the exam, you're like, bring it. I'm ready. I'm going to ace this. That's because you're prepared. It's not stress. It's just pressure, and pressure makes you better. We love it.
To talk about those two players a little bit more, Shanice Johnson and Raquana Williams are both seniors. What are you going to do, I guess, after they leave this year? Who are the two players you might look to after them?
So you're really going to make me look into next year already?
Yeah.
We'll see, because I don't think it's all about those two anymore. I'm glad I have them, and they're
Right.
fantastic players, but I really believe that we have some quality in our lineups, and there's 10 people that are fighting, and it's pretty even in practice. I can't. Used to be in years past, honestly, I'd put one team together and I know they would dominate, and then I would maybe try to make the teams even. And this year, I can literally just say, well, I want to see this lineup together, but that doesn't mean that lineup's going to win. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm really thrilled about. I mean, Morgan Stroman, I can't go on and on enough about her. She's just had a fantastic career so far. And Pepper Wilson is just an absolute anchor for us, just a really neat person that is very capable of doing some special things. And Stephanie Ederstrom, I mean, she's probably playing better than anyone on our team right now. So, those three are proven talents, and they're not seniors.
Yeah.
Coach, last season you used the same 5 starters all season long, only team in the nation to do that. How important is keeping that kind of consistency this year now that you're ranked 7th?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to change a whole heck of a lot. I just have a little bit more to work with, and I don't assume that we'll have the same 5 starting because we have such a difference between Sylvia and Pepper, and Sylvia presents a lot of athleticism and speed and great defense, and Pepper presents all that size and rebounding and all that. So we really can need-base that and sort of monitor how we want to start a game and what's the most important thing to start a game. And even Soraya McGuire is pushing for time, the freshman. Michelle Woods is really pushing for time too. So, it's not just set. But if I go into the season with the same 5 starters, they're going to be very good. I mean, that would be great if that happened.
Also, do you find it significant that the 2 most successful teams here right now at the university are both women's teams in basketball and volleyball?
I think it's great.
How do you feel about student attendance at the games, and how can we improve that?
I think the students here, I know there's a lot they say to do in Miami, but I think for the students, I can't imagine why you would choose not to come. I just can't imagine why you physically choose not to come. It's on campus, it's right there. You're going to see some great basketball on both the men and women's side. I really, Coach Larinaga is doing a heck of a job, and my biggest thing is when I go to a sporting event, I want to see passion. I mean, why, watch TV otherwise, but when you go to a live sporting event, you want passion, you want excitement, you want energy. There cannot be a more exciting women's basketball team in the country than ours because we're so hungry. That doesn't mean we're number one, that doesn't mean we're the best, but there's a team that plays a really electric style and absolutely, without question, is allowed to show any emotion they're feeling. And it's a raw thing, and it's live. And I would think that the students could really get into it. So this support has been, the ones who come, they've been caught up in the passion, but we just need more of them. That's all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Coach, I just wanted to ask you about the conditioning of your squad. I mean, you mentioned the style you guys play. How much conditioning in the off season really goes into the fast-paced style that you guys run on offense and defense?
That's a good comment. We the first thing we do is a fitness test. We do it together. It's an NBA fitness test, and some of our guards hit the NBA times. This year, to start the season, only 3 people that ran it the first day, only 3 passed. So it's a real significant indicator to me of how much the fall is going to be about basketball or how much it's going to be about conditioning. Only 3 passing, I was not happy with that. One of the ones who passed was Pepper, the 6'6" kid. So that tells you a lot about her will and her desire and how competitive she is, that she was bound and determined to pass that fitness test. And it's hard, and it's something you have to repeat 4 times. And if you fail any one of those tests, you fail the whole test. And you're not allowed to, we have certain rules about those who fail. And so we can do 2 hours of basketball a week and 6 hours of conditioning, or we can do 8 hours of conditioning and no basketball, and that's pretty much what that determines. So you have to be in incredible shape to play in our style, but you also have to be mentally tough enough to push through something. And when I see a mental weakness, that conditioning test pretty much, it's never really a physical thing. It's usually mentally just not ready for the type of pace that we play, and I don't want you dribbling the ball until you're ready mentally first.
And then I want to ask you about Pepper. Obviously, adding her to your lineup kind of makes things a little bit different. How excited are you to have her eligible this season?
It's funny because right before the exhibition game, I just had to have my little moment with Pep, and I just looked across the locker room, and boy, she looked like she was about 3 years old at Christmas. It was so cute to see her just light up and smile, and just, she was like, Coach, like, it's here. And that's significant to me because I just love her. I just have so much admiration, really admiration. Like, I'm an adult here admiring this young lady, like, oh, you're really cool. Like, you're one of the most awesome people I've ever met. And so I want her to have success. I want her to, be able to play and just be dominant and get all the accolades that she's worked so hard for. So personally, I'm excited. It obviously makes my team better, but it's more about just Pep. I'm just rooting for her, so I'm so happy for her.
Great. Thank you.
That's it. All right. Well, thank